A Worldwide Museum Website Guide 2. Chapter 1. A list of museum websites for some countries worldwide. AASIAATmuseum.gl. Asiat Museum, Asiat. acm.org.sg/home/home.asp, Asia Civilizations Museum. af-moma.no, Astrup Fearnley Museum of Modern Art, Oslo. akcity.government.nz/attractions/art gallery. akmuseum.org.nz. alvaraalto.fi/indexi.hdm, Alvar Aalto Museum, Jyväskylä. am.gov.ae/english/arauman/heritage and culture/historical sites/pages/museum.aspx, Auman Museum, Auman. amth.gr, Archaeological Museum of Thessaloniki, Macedonia. annefrank.com, Anne Frank Online. annefrank.nl, Anne Frank House, Amsterdam. Arab.net/UAE/tour/UE_Dubai Museum.html, Dubai Museum. Archaeology.gov.ae, Sharjah Archaeological Museum, Vatican, Vatican City. artmuseum.gov.mo/main.asp language =3, Macau Museum of Art. Also in Chinese and Portuguese. arts-et-metiers.net, Musée des Arts et Métiers, Museum of Arts and Crafts, Paris. arts-asiatiques.com, Museum of Asiatic Art, Nice. asi.nic.in/aci_monday_whs_agratajmahal.asp, Taj Mahal. asia1.com.sg/travel/hk/hkmuseum.html, Hong Kong Museums. asianaart.com/patten-museum, Patten Museum. Traditional Sacred Art. asiatravel.com/nepal/nepalgal.html, Nepal. atlas.central.ntua.gr/webakripal. aucklandartgallery.government.nz, Auckland Art Gallery Toyotamaki. aucklandmuseum.com. Auckland Museum Te Papawakahiku. augustins.org, Musée des Augustins, Toulouse. augustins.org/en/monument. babylonjewry.org.il, Babylonian Jewry Museum, or Yehuda. baghdadmuseum.org, Iraq Museum International, Baghdad. beatles.imv.it.no/homepage imv.it.no.html. benakai.gr, Benaki Museum, Athens. bh.org.il/v-xh, virtual exhibition. bh.org.il, Beth Hate Futsith, the Museum of the Jewish Diaspora, Tel Aviv. bot.or.th/english/bot-museum/pages/bot-museum1.aspx, Bank of Thailand Museum. karaun.com/museum/pakistan/national museum Pakistan.html, National Museum of Pakistan, Karachi. cartelfr.louvre.fr, Catalogue of 30,000 artworks, in French. cbl.ie, Chester Beatty Library, Dublin. centralmuseum.nl, Central Museum Utrecht. centrepompidou.fr/musée, Musée National d'Art Moderne. centrepompidou.fr, in French. centrepompidou.fr/English, Centre Georges Pompidou. Saison.com/eng, Cézanne's Exhibition, Paris, London, Philadelphia. channels.nl/m.html, Amsterdam Museums. chateauversailles.fr/n, English.in Chinese. chateauversailles.fr, Chateau de Versailles, near Paris. cheminsdememoire.gov.fr/page/affichelou.php ?idlu =5371 #idlang =n, Museum of the Legion of Honor and the Orders of Chivalry, Paris. christchurchartgallery.org.nz, Christchurch Art Gallery Te Puna Awewatu. ChristusRex.org, Christus Rex virtual exhibits containing many images. ChristusRex.org/www.1/Vaticano/0-musi.html, Vatican Museums, Musei Vaticani. ChristusRex.org/www.1/stanzas/0-raphael.html, Raphael stanzas and logias. ChristusRex.org/www.1/cita/0-cita.html. Vatican City. CITE-SCIENCES.fr, Site des Sciences and de l'Industrie, Paris. CNAC-GP.fr/English. CNAC-GP.fr/Musée. CNAC-GP.fr/index-e.html. CNAM.fr/Louvre. CrawfordArtGallery.ie, Crawford Municipal Art Gallery, Cork. Culture.fr/culture/Bordeaux, Musée des Beaux-Arts de Bordeaux. Culture.fr/culture/gvp-n.htm. Culture.fr/Louvre. Culture.fr, French Ministry of Culture. Culture.gr, Hellenic Culture. Culture.gr/h/151.jsp?obj_id=3249, National Archaeological Museum of Athens. Culture.gr/2/21/maps/hellas.html. Culture.gr/2/21/toc/museums.html, Greece. ddtravel.com/museum.htm, Israel Museums. 7th Museum, Amsterdam. eholidaysindia.com/museums.htm. elrin.net/n_sci_museum, Israel National Museum of Science, Daniel and Matilda Recanati Center, Haifa. English.istanbul.gov.tr/default.aspx?PID=349, Topkapi Palace Museum. esatclear.ie/tildegarda/museum.html, the Garda Síochána Museum, Dublin Castle. Fencible.org.nz, Howick Historical Village, Pakuranga, Auckland. FijiMuseum.org.fj, Fiji Museum. fmnh.helsinki.fi, Botanical Museum, Finnish Museum of Natural History, Helsinki. fng.fi, Finnish National Gallery, Helsinki. fng.fi/fng/html2/n, English, Finnish, and Swedish. gallery-guide.com/museum/Van Gogh. gatewaytobali.com/arts_and_culture/museums, Bali Museums. Geldmuseum.nl, National Museum of Coins and Metals, Leiden, Dutch. geo.physical.uit.no, Northern Lights Planetarium. Infonorway.com. gevangenpoort.nl. Museum Gevangenpoort, The Hague. gfh.org.il, Ghetto Fighters House. Jewish Resistance Heritage Museum, Western Galilee. Giverny.org/Monet/welcome.htm, Claude Monet. Giverny.org/museums, Giverny and Vernon Museums. Giverny.org/gardens, garden. Greece-museums.com, Greece Museums. guinnesshopstore.com/htm/floor0/index_d.htm, Transport Museum section. guinnesshopstore.com, Guinness Hop Store, Dublin. h-museum.net/iraq.html, Baghdad Museum Project, Virtual Museum of the Iraq National Museum. hafnarfjorder.is/museum. hamarnet.no/emigrant museum. hamarnet.no/utvhom.htm. helsinki.fi. heritage.gov.pk/museums.html, Pakistan. hgm.denhog.nl. hk.science.museum/eindex.php, Hong Kong Science Museum. hkta.org/sightseeing/museums, museums Hong Kong. hkta.org, Hong Kong Tourist Association. hmu.auckland.ac.nz/gilchrist/matakaohe/kauri tree.html, the kauri tree, timber, and gum. hmu.auckland.ac.nz/matakaohe. hmu.com/maritime_museum. hok.no, Hennionsted Art Center. hok.no/shop, museum shop. hok.no/call.html, collection of international modern art in Norway. hollandmuseums.nl, Holland Museums from the hollandmuseums.nl/uk/info/contact.html. Netherlands Board of Tourism, supported by the Netherlands Association of Museums. hollandmuseums.nl/muse_uk.html, Netherlands. huntmuseum.com, Hunt Museum, University of Limerick. husid.com/English, the house at Arabaki, the Arnazinga Folk Museum, Arabaki. One of Iceland's oldest buildings. hyperg.tu-graz.ac.at. ibb.gov.tr/sites/k/-hyphen us/1-places-go/museum/pages/istanbul-painting-museum.aspx, Istanbul Museum of Painting and Sculpture. ilmuseums.com, Israel. imj.org.il/museum1.html, virtual tour. imj.org.il, Israel Museum, Jerusalem. india.bizhat.com/museums, India. indiawatch.org.in/Bombay Museum, Prince of Wales Museum. indo.com/galleries/Ruda Na, Museum Rudana, the Art Museum of Bali, Piliatan, Ubud, Bali. inform.nl/rijks muse. inform.nl/muses/sral06p1.htm, type. inform.nl/muses/nmal06p1.htm, name. inform.nl/muses/plal06p1.htm, location. inform.nl/musa, musa in Netherlands. Irish Museum.modernart.com, Irish Museum of Modern Art, Dublin. ey.fr/site-sciences. jakarta.arta-cityhotels/places/museum/national_museum.html, National Museum of Indonesia, Jakarta. jeru.hug.ac.il, Jerusalem Mosaic. Information, exhibits, and images about Jerusalem. jkl.fi/Keskei-Suomen Museo/English, Museum of Central Finland. jmm.gov.my/n, the Department of Museums Malaysia. kauri-museum.com, Kauri Museum, Matakahi, Northland. kiasma.fi. Kiasma Museum of Contemporary Art, Helsinki. kreusa.fi/museoliado/nmuse.hdm. kultur.gov.tr, Museums of the General Directorate of Monuments and Museums. lam.lt, Lithuanian Aviation Museum. lcsd.gov.hk/ce/museum/history/index.php, Hong Kong Museum of History. lcsd.gov.hk/ce/museum/space, Hong Kong Space Museum. lcsd.gov.hk/ce/museum/arts, Hong Kong Museum of Art. ldm.lt. ldmsiaus.mch.mii.lt, Lithuanian Art Museum, Vilnius. lebanon.com/culture/museums.html, museums and archaeology. lebanon.com/where/Lebanon guide/national museum.htm, National Museum, Beirut. lebanon.com/where/lebanon guide/museums.hdm, Lebanon. lham.com.sg, Lin HSIN Art Museum. limburgsmuseum.nl, Limburgs Museum, Limburg. ljudmila.org/scca/parasite/index.hdm, parasite. Museum of Contemporary Art, PMCA, Ljubljana. lnm.lt, National Museum of Lithuania, Vilnius. Louvre.edu, Louvre.edu Educational Resources, by subscription, in French. Louvre.fr/louvre.hdm, Louvre, Paris. Louvre.fr/anglais/musée/collèce/mana.hdm. mac-lyon.com/mac, the Musée d'Art Contemporain of Lyon. macaumuseum.gov.mo, Museum of Macau. macom.co.il/museum. mada.org.il, Bloomfield Science Museum, Jerusalem. mada.org.il/eng/eindex.hdm. masonslafite.net, Masons Lafite. masonslafite.net/musée.hdm, Musée du Cheval de Courses. malraux.culture.fr, collection type. mauritius.nl, Mauritius, The Hague. Den Haag, in Dutch and English. mbar.org, Musée des Beaux-Arts de Rennes. mecha.ntua.gr/webagrapal. medistrevelnet.com/jte/museums.hdm, Jordan. mmserve.com/museum, Malaysia. mnhn.fr, Museum National d'Histoire Naturelle, Paris. mnhn.fr/base, collections catalog including searchable fish catalog. mons.cs.auckland.ac.nz/kamanzi_art_now, art now 1998 exhibition. mons.cs.auckland.ac.nz/kamanzi, see the. mpl-ubud.com, Museum Puri Lukisan, Ubud, Bali. msu.edu.tr/services/irham/home.html. munch.museum.no, Munch Museum, Oslo. musee-beauxarts.campere.fr. Musée des Beaux-Arts de Quimper. musee-rodin.fr, Musée Rodin, Paris. musee-rodin.fr/welcome.hdm. musee-legion-honeur.org. musee-rodin.fr/biotx-e.hdm, Auguste Rodin, 1840–1919, in the Hotel Byron, where he rented the ground floor. musee-ampere.univ-lyon1.fr, Maison d'Ampere, Musée de l'Électricité, Polymu. musee-orsay.fr, Musée d'Orsay, Paris. musée.com, museum stores online for museum-related shopping. musees.regioncenter.fr, Region Center Museums. musees.regioncenter.fr/default_english.php, English. museophile.culture.fr, Museophile Museum websites, National Database of. museolieto.fi, Finnish museums information including a alphabetical list of museums. Also ordered, by location and, by type. From the Finnish Museums Association. museolieto.fi/ako.hdm, Finland. museon.museon.nl/contents.html, English and Dutch. museon.nl, Museum, The Hague. Den Haag, Science and Natural History. Geology, Biology and Ecology, History and Archaeology. museum.com/jb/museum?ID =39692, Museum and Library of the Catholicosate of Cilicia. museum.gl/sisimiut, Sisimiut Museum, Sisimiut. Museum.gl/UK, Greenland. Museum.ie, National Museum of Ireland, Dublin. Museum.org.sg/shm/shm.html, Singapore History Museum and Museum.org.sg, National Museum of Singapore, National Heritage Board. Museum.todelft.nl, Technical Museum of the University of Delft. Museum Boerhaave.nl, Museum Boerhaave, Leiden. Museumcompany.com, The Museum Company. Museumserver.nl/e_index.html. Museumserver.nl/Netherlands/e_index.html. Museumserver.nl, The Museum Server. Museumserver.nl/e_index.shtml. Museumshop.com. Museumsnet.no/Emigrant Museum, Norwegian Emigrant Museum, Hamar. Museumsnet.no/Engels/K/muser/muser_alpha.html, Norway. Museumsnet.no/Engels/K. Museumsnet.no, Museumsnet Norway. Muzej-nz.si, the National Museum of Contemporary History, Ljubljana. museum.sk/default.php ?obj =museum&9 pvm, Pavask Museum, Zilina. History of the Slovak Tinkers Trade. Muzejo.lt/lietovos_muzejo_svetains.n.htm, Lithuania. Muzeij.lt, Museums of Lithuania, in English, French, and German. Muzej.mch.me.lt/index.n.htm. mv.vatican.va/3_n/pages/csn/csn_main.html, Sistine Chapel. mv.vatican.va/3_n/pages/sdr/sdr_00_main.html, Raphael's Rooms. mv.vatican.va/3_n/pages/mv_musei.html, Vatican Museums. mv.vatican.va, The Vatican. narmuz-lj.si, National Museum of Slovenia, Ljubljana. natgal.is, National Gallery of Iceland. natgal.is/english/ramar.html. nationalgallery.ie, National Gallery of Ireland, Dublin. nationaltransportmuseum.org, National Transport Museum of Ireland, Howth. natmuse.gl, Greenland National Museum and Archives, NKA, Nuuk. natmuse.is, National Museum of Iceland, Reykjavík, K, Reykjavik. nba.fi/en/nmf, The National Museum of Finland, Helsinki. nba.fi/n, National Board of Antiquities, Helsinki. ncb.gov.sg/nhb/museum.html. ncb.gov.sg, Singapore. nedpunt.nl/taylorsmuseum/taylang.htm. netvic.no/storgatus/af_muset/index_e.html. netvision.net.il/n_sci_museum. nhm.uio.no, Museums of Natural History, Oslo. nhmmaastricht.nl/1kin_ind.htm, Kids Museum. nhmmaastricht.nl/number English, English and Dutch. nhmmaastricht.nl/1kin_key.htm, quiz. nhmmaastricht.nl/1ron_ind.htm, virtual tour. nhmmaastricht.nl, Natural History Museum, Maastricht. noord-holland.nl/uk/museum_square/plaats.htm, by city, New_Zealand Museum websites. noord.holland.uk/musa_square/musa_museum_square/North Holland Museums. Norsktele.museum.no, Norwegian Telecom Museum, Oslo. npm.gov.tw, National Palace Museum. nus.edu.sg/museum/mission.htm, National University of Singapore Museums. nus.sg/weblkc, Li Kong Kian Art Museum of Chinese Art. nusantara.com/arma, Agung Raya Museum of Art, Ubud, Bali. nzfpm.co.nz, New Zealand Fighter Pilots Museum, Wanaka Airport. nzfpm.dcc.government.nz/nzfpm/nzfpm.htm. nzfpm.dcc.government.nz/nzfpm/other/other.htm, other aviation museums on the web. nzmaritime.org, New Zealand National Maritime Museum, Auckland. nzmuseums.co.nz, New Zealand. paris.org/expos, exhibitions. paris.org, Paris. paris.org/musees, museums. pelamuseum.org, Pella Museum. Geology and Paleontology of Jordan. photo.rmn.fr, Réunion des Musées Nationaux. pomeren.alland.fi, Museumship Pommern, Alland. pukariki.com, Pukariki, New Plymouth. Knowledge Center, Stories of Taranaki. railmuseum.com, National Rail Museum, New Delhi. rama9art.org, Rama 9 Art Museum Foundation, Bangkok, Turkey, Turkey. Rembrandthuis.nl, Rembrandt House Museum, Amsterdam. rembrandthuis.nl/algemeen/indexing.htm. rembrandthuis.nl/english.htm. research.haifa.ac.il/Hecht, Edith and Reuben Hecht Museum, Haifa University. rhodesjewishmuseum.org, Rhodes Jewish Museum, Rhodes. rijksmuseum.nl, Rijksmuseum, Amsterdam. rijksmuseum.nl/asp/start.asp ?UK, English, Dutch, German, French, Italian and Spanish. rmbr.nus.edu.sg/roundtable, Singapore. rmk-museum.org.tr, KOC Museum, Istanbul. rmv.nl, National Museum of Ethnography, Leiden. science.co.il/museums.asp, science and history related museums in Israel. science.uva.nl/zma/home.cfm, Zoological Museum, Amsterdam. singart.com, Singapore Art Museum. sn.no/skif/eng/hk-tourist/schema-cet.html, Ski Museum, Holmenkollen. sng.sk, Slovak National Gallery, Bratislava. snm.sk, Slovak National Museum, Bratislava. soc.auckland.ac.nz. spm.org.sg/c/overstory/index.html, Singapore Philatelic Museum. stdelijkinstad.nl/pages/index_n, Stedelijk Museum of Modern Art, Amsterdam. sulabihtoiletmuseum.org, Sulabite International Museum of Toilets, New Delhi. tademuseo.fi/english/index.html, Helsinki City Art Museum. tampere.fi/tammuse/english. tamuseum.co.il, Tel Aviv Museum of Art. tbb.gen.tr/english/culture/museums/09 museums3.html, Milet Museum, Miltos, Didim, Aden. Archaeology. tekniskamuseum.no, Norwegian Museum of Science and Technology, Oslo. telaviv-insider.co.il/museums.html telinoar.no/telemuseum/English tpapa.government.nz, Te Papa Tongarua Museum of New Zealand, Wellington. textilemuseum.nl/n, Audax Textile Museum, Tilburg. taylorsmuseum.nl, in Dutch, French and German. taylorsmuseum.nl/angles/hal.html, Taylors Museum, Haarlem. The Acropolis Museum.gr, the Acropolis Museum, Athens. tilburg.nl/textilemuseum/UK index2.htm. tms.pfmb.uni-mb.si, Technical Museum of Slovenia, Bistra, Borovnica. tornio.fi/ain, Art Museum, Tornio. torake.gl/natmuse. toyen.uio.no/engindex.html. traveling.com/museum/slovak-republic.htm, Slovakia. trmkt.com, Tarik Rajab Museum, Hawley. tourism.md/eng/top heritage/52, National Museum of Ethnography and Natural History of the Republic of Moldova, Chisinau. turismo.macau.gov.mo/dst_muse.htm, Macau. twwrm.org, the World Religions Museum, Taipei, English and Chinese. Thailand, Thailand. uc.gov.hk/count_fun/c/museum.html, Urban Council Museums. ucad.fr. L'Union Centrale des Arts Décoratifs. The Central Union of Decorative Arts. it.no/npt/homepage npt.n.html. umu.se/nordic.museology/nm/nordmuser.html, number sign Finland. umu.se/nordic.museology/nm/nordmuser.html, number sign Iceland, Iceland. umu.se/nordic.museology/nm/nordmuser.html, number sign Norway. universe.com/asia/idn/e-muse.htm, Indonesia. uppernavik.gl/retreat/index.php, Uppernavik Museum, Upernavik. eng.auth.gr/museum/color. usd.gov.hk/ce/museum, Hong Kong. usd.gov.hk/sci_muse/index.htm. usd.gov.hk/ce/museum/science. uu.nl/en/museum/pages/default.aspx, University Museum, Utrecht. vacoilumucio.fi, Spy Museum, Tampere. vanabebmuseum.nl/n, Van Abbe Museum, Eindhoven. Contemporary Art. vangoghmuseum.nl, Van Gogh Museum, Amsterdam. videomuseum.fr, Video Museum. vlmpfrsb.upm.edu.my, University Putra, Malaysia. wins.uva.nl/museum, Computer Museum, University of Amsterdam. uit.no/www/ut+/tmu?sbr_2, Troms Museum. xxlink.nl/nbt/museums. zandleven.nl/default.aspx, Jan Adam Zandleven Museum, Digital Town Eindhoven. zuiderzmuseum.nl, Zweiterzee Museum.